So there's three types of invitations to engagement. There's general engagement, there's a teacher invitation to engagement, and there's a student-centered invitation to engagement. Student-centered, kids got a band, chorus recital. Every parent's going to go. It's a student-centered invitation. Teacher invitation, that's the teacher saying, hey, listen, I need to talk to you. I wonder if there's a time we can set up a meeting. There's something going on with your child. Or, hey, we're going to have conferences. We would love for you to be able to come on by. These all have spikes. Open house is a teacher invitation to engagement, and it's a student-centered engagement, invitation to engagement. Those are why those two are such high attendance rates. But the general invitation, that's spam email that we send home. We print a bunch of paper, or we send a newsletter, or we send something on an email blast or whatever it is. And if the parent looks at that and goes, that's not for me, then they ignore it. It can easily go into the junk mail folder. So what we did is we just made sure that our invitations that mattered. For example, we had our, just a few years ago, we had a curriculum night for third, fourth, and fifth grade. I want to say we had 10, maybe between 10 and 15 parents show up for 3 grade levels. We're talking about, 300 plus students. Going by the percentages, that would have been right on line with 0 to 3% attendance rate. This year, for example, we did individual grade level curriculum nights. 3rd grade had a night, 4th grade had a night, 5th grade had a night. Their average attendance rate has been somewhere between 30 and 35%. I want to say between the 3 of them, 300, let's say 350 kids in that grade level, we've had 120 parents that have come for those events. But that's, again, all we did was just change the invitation. I had a teacher even try this out. She took a general invitation, a flyer, and I said, try something out. In the right-hand corner, write, I saw this and thought of you, and put your initials on it. So when that family got that flyer, in the right-hand corner, they see a red Sharpie that says, I saw this training and thought of you, put their teacher initials on there. Now they turned it from a general invitation to a personal teacher invitation. And the funny thing is that when you get into high school, people think that there's a huge shift, that teachers don't have efficacy to be able to make things happen. The only thing that flips is teacher is number 1, closely followed by student. Way at the bottom is general. In high school, student becomes number 1, the games, the events. Teachers just slip down to number 2, but they're still close. But every high school teacher I've ever worked with has all thought, oh, the kids won't be, the parents won't come. If you invite them, if you build it, they will come. So, but that's the Hoover Dempsey Sadler model. That thing was gold for me. I don't understand why more schools or more places just analyze their family engagement. And it's a very quick read. It's not a long study at all.
Any other ideas for, I mean, once they get to the event, you have to kind of make them want to come back, right?
As far as that part, I didn't have to do anything. So that part there, we didn't have to do anything. Our staff, I genuinely say that I think this is, and I'm not saying this because this is my school. I'm not saying that because it's what drew me to the school. This staff, they look at what our work that we're doing, our shared vision, and to them, it's something that's heartfelt. It's mission work to them. No one is excited about seeing our families show up as our teachers are. And they communicate that through their words, they communicate it through their actions. And like I mentioned earlier, one of the things that everybody agrees on, I wish I could tell you that it was me that brought it to the school, but it's not. We are highly competitive. So when we put on field day, we want it to be the best field day ever. When we put on an event at the school, we want it to be the best fall festival ever. So I think that kind of is something that was already permeated the culture. So I think we also go out of our way to meet our families where they are. I don't expect, and we don't expect our families to be able to do something that they're not capable of doing. So for example, with our families, we try to be really, we try to meet them where they are. if we don't make assumptions about what they can or cannot bring to the table, we just try to know them as much as possible, as much as we know the students, try to communicate with them as much as possible, and look for invitations for them to be able to be engaged at school. It does not look the same. If you took 10 schools and said, how does family engagement look in these 10 schools? It looks completely different at all 10 schools.